I'm Chay, my pronouns are he and him. I'm Director of Operations and for Healthcare at TransActual, the UK's national non-profit working for trans people. When I woke up at 6:30 a.m. on Wednesday to get ready to go to London, I knew what my rights were. Rights that have been in place for 20 years, in some cases with the Gender Recognition Act. Rights in the case of the Equality Act that have been in place for 15 years. By 10:30 on Wednesday, I didn't know what my rights were anymore. Between talking to journalists on the telly, on the radio, I was sitting working in cafes and parks in the middle of London, trying to work out what does this 88 pages of ruling, dense legal language, what does it actually mean? And have I just broken the law by going for a wee in the gents? You know, and journalists were saying, what does it mean for you? What does it mean for you? And I wanted to say to them, I don't fucking know what it means for me. I don't fucking know. I don't know where I'm meant to go for a wee. And thankfully, some cleverer people than me have started to clarify things for us. So what does this High Court ruling mean on paper? On paper, we are still, as trans people, limited to, we're protected against discrimination on the basis of being trans. But there's complications now about claims around equal pay at work. And actually, the complications might end up with unscrupulous bosses undermining the pay claims of cis women by saying, well, you're being paid more than a trans woman. And I've spent a lot of time recently talking about going for a wee, more time than probably my dad's comfortable with when he's listening to me on the radio, but he'll cope with that. The law still stands that if you're a trans woman, you can go in the women's loos unless you are given a proportionate, justifiable reason that someone wants to exclude you. As a trans man, I can go in the gents if there's a proportionate, justifiable reason that they're willing to give me. Non-binary people, intersex people, I'm sorry, you're still ignored by the law. In its ruling, the intersex erasure, the non-binary erasure was particularly egregious. But now there's a bit of confusion because the ruling seems to say that not only could an organisation tell me I can't go in the men's toilets, they're also saying an organisation could also exclude me from the women's toilets. So that begs the question, where am I meant to go for a wee? Especially when the previous government that have complicit in this ruling and complicit in putting people in positions like the chair of the EHRC, who heavily influenced this ruling. The previous government was campaigning to get rid of gender neutral spaces. The people that have campaigned for the ruling that we saw on Wednesday have campaigned to get rid of gender neutral spaces. The reason they've done so is because they don't want us in public spaces. They don't want us participating in our community. But we're not going away. Look at everyone out here today, the drop of a hat. It was announced yesterday. We're not going away. Quite frankly, because we're human beings that exist. We've always existed, we're not going anywhere. And the thing is, it is going to be easier now for organisations to say, no, we're going to exclude a trans woman from this space, or a trans man from that space. And the EHRC are pushing public bodies to do that, to exclude us. And the way that they're pushing is actually potentially still a breach of the law. So people are going to be empowered to exclude us. But if you run an organisation or manage a community centre or anything like that, it's important to know you don't have to exclude us. It's a choice. So if the important thing for everyone to know, if you're trans, if someone tries and stops you going in the loo or the changing rooms or wherever, ask them why. Ask them for the specific reason why you as an individual shouldn't be getting changed in that changing room if you want to just go for a swim or go to an exercise class. Ask them why. They've got to give you a reason. The British Transport Police have already announced, in an announcement that is likely to be illegal, that if they have a reason to strip search someone that they think is a trans woman, it will be a man doing it. Someone that they think is a trans woman. So not just trans women, well, no, just about it. This isn't going to impact trans women alone. It's disgusting. It isn't going to impact trans femmes and non-binary people given the label of male at birth. No, it is going to impact anyone that doesn't look like the stereotype of white Western femininity. It is going to disproportionately impact butch lesbian women. It is going to impact black and brown women. You know, I was talking to a South Asian friend of mine who was saying, I already get nervous because of my body hair, that is just body hair that just grows on me. I'm not on HRT. I'm already nervous getting changed for swimming. It's going to mean that everyone is targeted. And what are they going to do? Are they going to ask to see people's genitals? Are they going to ask to do a chromosome test for someone to use loo in a public space? What are they going to do? It's ridiculous. And the thing to know, and especially for the people that are just walking past, don't know anything about trans people are not a danger. The argument about these interpretations of the law are about keeping cis women safe from men. And the thing is, trans women are not men. Non-binary people are not men. Trans men are men, but we often get erased. And what the danger to women and our whole society is misogyny. The court proceedings that led to the verdict on Wednesday, there was a court case, an appeal, and another appeal. Losing a court case costs you £200,000-300,000. Times that by 4, imagine if that money had been spent funding underfunded rape crisis centres, whether it had funded getting education into schools to tackle the causes of misogyny at the root. You know, imagine. Do not engage with the people that wish to deny us our humanity. A real feminist would not reduce people to the size of their gametes. Trans rights are human rights.
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 Transphobia is not welcome in Liverpool.
Yes.
Not welcome. What? Make no mistake, siblings and allies. There will be more court cases coming. There will be attempts to further undermine the Gender Recognition Act. Anything that mentions of sex, biological sex, legal sex, they are trying to take us from public life, just like that person shouting over there. They're trying to take us out of public life, and they will not silence us. I was speaking just a couple of weeks ago to a trans friend in Kenya. She's Ugandan. Friend of mine, Vanilla Cruz. She's a Ugandan trans woman living in Kenya. And she said to me, they can, I'm going to paraphrase her now, they can shout at us in the street. They can hate us. They can tell us they think we're unnatural. They can legislate us. But we're here, quite literally, we're here. We're not going anywhere. I'm me. I'm still me. I'm not going to change that for anyone. And you know, if Vanilla, who has fled Uganda of fear of her life and is living in Kenya under daily police harassment, can do it, so can I. As trans people, we've always been here since the Roman times. since before the Roman times. We've always been here. We're always going to be here. That's not going to change. There's a fight ahead, no doubt about that. But we're in it together. And just before we do another chant, what I will say is the people that try and shout us down, the people that turn up in our protests, they want your attention, they want to provoke you. Don't give them the satisfaction. Best thing to do to an attention seeker is ignore them. So let's go again. Trans rights are human rights.
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 Trans women are women.
Trans women are women.
Trans men are men.
Trans men are men.
Non-binary people are who they say they are.
Non-binary people are who they say they are.
Intersex people exist.
Intersex people exist.
Misogyny hurts us all.
Misogyny hurts us all.
Thanks everyone.